Good morning, everybody. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Start in 2 minutes. Good morning, everybody. We'll start here in about a minute and a half. Good morning, everybody. We can start here in about 1 minute. Start in about 1 minute. People dial in. Morning, everybody. Start here in just a few seconds. Let the stragglers get dialed in. Just a few more seconds. Just a few more seconds. Okay, we'll get started. So I've asked this many times, but I haven't asked it for a long time. If you were given a choice, you were going to start a restaurant and you had discovered the best taco recipe in the world by far. No other taco recipe touches it. Would you rather have a restaurant with that taco recipe where there's 9 other taco restaurants on the block? Or would you rather have an ice cream shop where you sold plain old, regular old ice cream? Not bad, not good, just plain old ice cream. So would you rather have but you're the only ice cream store on the block. So would you rather have the world's best taco with 9 competitors on the block, or an average ice cream store, but you're the only one on the block? Which would you rather have? So Allie, can you let me know when people answer that? I mean, you get the world's best taco.
Oh no, we have an answer for ice cream and taco. It's a little bit divided.
Okay, it's ice cream. Why? Why is it ice cream? Because it is a unique selling proposition. Nobody else has it. How many of those other taco restaurants are going to say they have the best taco? All of them are. How are people going to discover it? I guess by trying all 9. But if they find a restaurant that they like, will they ever bother trying the other ones before they to find the best one? They're all saying they're the best. And if everybody's saying that they're the best, there's no unique selling proposition. And guys, how many of your competitors say they have the best customer service? All of them. How many say that they actually care about their clients? All of them. How many say that they have pay attention to retirement income and will help you manage your IRAs the best? All of them. How many say they have the best money manager? All of them. All of your competitors are saying the same dang thing. And if their current, remember, your best prospect is your competitor's best client. And if your competitor's best client is hearing their guys say, yeah, we care about our clients. Yeah, we do this, we do that, we do that. And you say, well, I do that too. Are they going to move? No, they will not. The only thing they'll move for is something that their current guy is not doing. So what do we have? What do we have that no other advisor has? What do we offer that no other advisors out there except 5Q our advisors are offering? And it revolves around the number, actually out of the top 15 things that people want, it addresses 5 of those top 15 things that people want. What do we have, guys? So Allie, let me know if we get any answers to that. What do you have to offer that no other advisor you're competing with has to offer that is what every client that's retired wants?
I have the 21 and then USPs.
Good. So the 21, well, I agree. The 21-point checklist is awesome. But how many of your competitors are going to say, we do a complete analysis of your situation. We have a complete financial plan. They all say that. So your clients won't know that until they experience it. They will not know the difference between a 21-point checklist and what their current advisor is offering. They will once you do it for them, but they won't in the offer. So the offer has to be unique. And yes, we have the unique selling propositions. What is the top unique selling proposition? It's this one. Increase your retirement income by 25% or more while reducing your risk. Your risk goes down, which is the opposite of what you would think would happen. And guys, we've had 25 different broker dealers look at this unique selling proposition, and they all gave it their stamp of approval. Yes, they said change this word or that word or this word or that word, but they allowed the advisors to use this premise. So how many times do you have an unbelievable unique selling proposition that your compliance department actually allows you to do? And why do they allow you to use this? Because we can prove it. It's been proven by the Society of Actuaries. It's been proven by Financial Advisor Magazine. It's been proven. So if you don't have this on every single one of your business cards, on your email signature, on your letterhead, in your newsletters, in every single advertisement you do, you're missing the boat. How many of your clients are offering to increase your client's retirement income by 25% or more while reducing the risk, and they don't even have to move a single cent of their investments? How many of your competitors are offering that? And so, Allie, let me know when we get some answers to that. How many of your competitors are offering this? How many of your clients would even know if their best client went to them and said, "Hey, I saw this other advisor. He's saying he can increase my retirement income by 25% or more, lower my risk, and I don't have to move any investments." How is he doing that? What would your competitor say? I don't know. So if you're not using this, you are missing an unbelievable opportunity. Unbelievable opportunity. Guys, I shouldn't even have to tell you this, but if I was to poll, okay, right now, how many of you right now, I want you to raise your hands and say yes. So I want you to count the yeses for me, Allie, if you wouldn't mind. I want you to say yes if you are using this on all of your email signatures, all of your marketing, all your newsletters, and all of your stationery. Doesn't take that long to type in yes. So guess what I'm assuming all the people in the phone call, how many have done that? So how many yeses did we get, Allie?
We've gotten 0 yeses, but we've had not all, but some business cards, and then compliance for a question mark.
And what did I say about compliance, guys? This has been given to compliance. If you go to the website, download all the proof and give it to your compliance department. Like I said, 25 different broker dealers, compliance departments have okayed this. One of them says you need to change this word, but not that word. Another one says you can change that word, but not that word, which are the complete opposite. But the premise has been okayed by compliance department. Why? Because the Society of Actuaries has proven this. Financial Advisor Magazine has done several articles on this. So it is proven by compliance. I just, guys, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And guess who the horse is in this particular example? Why are you not using this? Why are you not an expert in this? Why are you out there saying, we really take good customer service. We really care about our clients. We really have a good money manager. We really have a good retirement plan for you. We really can help you with your retirement income. How many of your competitors are saying that? All of them. This is something only you can say. And how many of your clients, if I called up all of your clients and said, listen, hey, shh, I got a way to increase your income by 25% and lower your risk, and you don't need to move a single cent of your investments. Would you like to know how to do that? How many of them would say yes? How many of them would say yes? They all would.
We got
They
the
all would.
answer for all.
Yeah. Why? Because they all want more income. They all want less risk. And they all want to do it where they don't have to do anything, which is not move a single cent of their investments. Yes, I want 25% more. Yes, I want less risk. Yes, I want to do this without making any changes whatsoever. Who the hell wouldn't want that, guys? And you're not using that all over the place? Come on. And remember, I'm yelling at you right now. I'm being hired to do these coaching calls. I make no money whether you guys write a piece of business or you don't write a piece of business. So I'm just your once a week, Monday morning coaching call being paid an hourly wage. So I can give a rat's patootie whether you do this or not. But as your coach, as your Monday morning coach, I'm saying you are missing the train if you're not using this. So we want to talk today about this 26 traits of successful people. But before we do that, I'd like to cover the habits of unsuccessful people. So what are the habits of unsuccessful people? Well, they act before they think. They talk more than they listen. They think they know it all. They try to bring others down to their level instead of improving themselves. They want to complain and bring down other people. They stop learning. They think, say, and do negative things. They blame others. They hold a grudge. They have a sense of entitlement. They're always angry about others. They don't know what they want to be. They secretly hope other people fail. They're not hoping that they succeed. They hope other people fail. They take the easy way out. They never set goals. We don't like goals, but they never set a system to hit goals. They criticize. They get distracted every day. They waste their time. They give up easily. They fear change. They hoard information, data, and sharing it with people. That's what unsuccessful people do. But what do you do to be successful? Well, the 26 habits of incredibly successful salespeople, and this was accumulated or put together by HubSpot as they interviewed, I think I forget how many, I think 500 ultra successful salespeople in all sorts of industries. What were their habits? So number one is they knew their target market. And who's our target market? Our target market are people who are retired, people between the age of 55, or probably more near 60, and 75, 60 and 75, who are retired, that are affluent. Do we know, identify their needs and expectations of our customers? Do we know those? Uh-huh. Do we understand their purchasing decisions? Uh-huh. What are the purchasing? Here's the purchasing decisions. They are happy where they currently are, or they would have moved a long time ago. So their purchase decision is going to be based on not on anything we can offer. They will not move to anything. We can show them the greatest thing in the world, but they're not going to move it. They're not going to move until they decide they can't continue to work with their current advisor. Wait a minute, Mike, you just said that that unique selling proposition would get them to move. No, I did not. I said it would get them to meet with you. It would get them to pique their interest. They would say, yes, tell me more about that. At which point you can then do a 21-point checklist. At which point they can then understand, oh, my guy's been withholding information. So he can make more money and I make less because of that. That's a purchase decision, not based on anything you have, but the fact that they can't work with their current guy who's been screwing them any longer. Find out more about your target market user behavior. Well, we just said their behavior is, I'm not going to move from my current guy. The only way I'm going to move from my current guy is not for something better, but if I decide I can't trust my current guy any longer. Narrow the targeting of your advertising campaign. Guys, I told you, I gave away my clientele that were below the age of 60 for free. I gave it to an advisor, didn't charge him for it, gave him about 300 clients at no cost with the agreement that you will not churn these people. If I find, since you're not paying me, you're not going to go in there and move all these people's investments just to make income. If I find you doing that, I will help these people write letters to the state regulators and the federal regulators to get you in trouble. So do you want it? Do you want 300 clients at no cost if you don't churn. So that's how that's, and the thing is, when I gave away all those non-6-year-olds, I could look people in the eye and say, listen, I only know one thing. I don't know how to fund for college. I don't know how to monitor your 401k. You know what I do know how to do is when you're retired, there's nobody on this earth that knows more about how to help somebody in retirement than me, because that's all I do. All of my continuing education is on people who are retired. All of my research is on people who are retired. All of my readings on people who are retired. I don't pay attention to anything else but that. So narrow the target of your advertising and your practice. Targeted marketing, attract better quality leads, make objective decisions concerning rebranding. Biggest rebranding I can tell you to do is, what does any of you out here know what I'm going to recommend that you would call your practice? What do I recommend everybody call their practice? Let's see if we get answers on this, Sally. What should your practice be called? And guys, I love wordsmithing. I love coming up with tricky dicky phrases. I love coming up with things. Don't tell, sell, preach, or teach. I love coming up with those kind of things. I came up with some brilliant, what I thought were company names, and they sucked. Why? Because the brilliant company names scream, I'm a salesman. I'm going to try to sell you something. I'm a financial advisor. I'm a wealth manager. When they hear financial advisor or wealth manager, they don't think, oh, that's a good guy. They think, oh, that's got a guy who wants to take my money. So what do I recommend you call your practice? Rebranding and calling your practice. What do I recommend? We get any answers, Allie?
Yeah, so we have a 3-name firm, like a law firm.
Yes, very good. Who said that? Do we know?
Yes, it was Tom.
Tom, you are absolutely right. I called my firm Castle, Neck and Clark. What does that sound like? Does that sound like a accounting firm, a consulting firm, an attorney firm? Or does it sound like a financial advisor, wealth manager going to try to peel you away from your money? You should sound like an accountant. You should sound like a law firm. You should sound like a consulting firm. All of those are 2-name, 3-name practices. Make the most of A/B testing. Outperform your competitors. Well, I'm just giving you the one way to outperform your competitors with the USP none of them are even talking about. So know your target market. Number 1, identify needs and expectations of customers. Understanding purchase decisions. Find out more about your target behavior. Narrow the targeting of your advertising. Target marketing. Attract better quality leads. Make objective decisions. Guys, we've done this all for you with the 5Q system. Number 2, use a measurable, repeatable sales process. Do we have that with the 5Q system? Allie, can you give me some, if we get any answer? Do we have a measurable, repeatable sales process? How do you treat referrals? Differently? How do you treat somebody with a lot of money? Differently? How do you treat somebody who has all their money in bonds? Differently? How do you treat somebody who has all their money in the bank? Differently? Yeah. How do you treat somebody who's just lost a husband and is looking for a new advisor? Differently? No. You take them all through the exact same measurable, repeatable sales process, the 21-point checklist. Low-performing reps let intuition guide them. High-performing reps use a process that's optimized to move as many prospects as possible from connect to close. Does the 5Q system, the 21-point checklist do this? The FIA presentation do this? Low-performing reps sometimes let things slip through the cracks. High-performing reps know the state of every deal in the pipeline, what actions they'll take next, and when. We have meeting number 1, meeting number 2, which is the 21-point checklist, and meeting number 3, which is the FIA presentation. We know exactly where these people are at every single meeting, every single process. I ran 30 appointments a week, and outside my office, I had a organizer, and the organizer was based on a little colored tabs. So my organizer for the whole week had 30 file folders in there, and they were all yellow, blue, and red. Yellow was first meeting, blue was second meeting, red was third meeting. I knew exactly where I was with each one of those entities or each one of those clients every single week. Low performing reps rarely analyze results because they haven't been tracking them. Do you think I knew my closing ratio on a monthly basis for the last month? Heck yes, I did. I did when I was making $1 million or more a year. Because what I found is I got lazy. I started taking shortcuts. And when I found a month that was not closing over 90% of my people, of my new clients, I analyzed am I going wrong on that? What happened? And inevitably I found I was taking shortcut. Oh, it's a referral. I don't need to do the 20-point checklist. They're going to move money anyways. Nope. Gotta follow the process. Number 3, know your product. The way you walk a client through the FIA, does that client end up knowing more about FIAs than the average financial advisor out there? The way you'll walk a client through, asking open-ended questions for them to describe why it's not going to beat the market, but it's still a better choice. Why it's not liquid, but it's more liquid than their wealth management account. Why they're going to pay fees on it, but why the fees are more fair than what they're currently paying. How it's going to work. How can it give you the highest rate of return with the least amount of risk? How can it buy and sell automatically for you? Does that presentation have the client understand FIAs better than what the average financial advisor understands it? I'll tell you, absolutely 100% yes. You know how I know that? Is because when I recruited advisors and I would have them come out to Eden Prairie, Minnesota to decide whether they wanted to use the 5Q process or not, and they were all on board or highly skeptical. They were highly skeptical. And when I told them, I can show you, I can have a client tell me in 5 minutes that an FIA with a 10% surrender charge for 10 years is more liquid than your wealth manager. Guess how many of those advisors believe me at that point? Well, give me some answers. When the people came out, advisors came out to see whether they wanted to use the 5Q system or not, and I told them, I'm going to show you in 5 minutes how I can get a client to tell me that a 10-year surrender with 10% surrender charge is more liquid than your wealth manager. How many of the advisors believed I could do that?
We have a few answers that say none.
None. But by the end of that 5 minutes, guess what they all said? If I walk through their client through that, what would all their clients say? That is absolutely more liquid. See, that's the value of knowing your product better than their current advisor, and we give you the tools. Do not keep maybe files. Do not keep maybe files. What is a maybe file? It's clients that you did not close, and then you leave them there in your maybe file that, I think I might be able to get them later. I think I'll get them later. No, if I didn't close somebody through my own fault or their fault or whatever, if I did not close somebody and they decided to hold off, I would send them a letter saying, okay, it's apparent that you decided to stay where you're at. That's fine. I'm going to shred. You can either pick it all, call my office within the next 48 hours, or I'm going to shred all of your documentation because I don't want to have your personal information on file. So give us a call within 48 hours. We'll hand it over to you, or we're going to shred it. And if you decide to come back, we'll just have to go through the whole entire process again. That was me telling them, hey, we're done. But it was me telling myself, hey, we're done. Because maybe files destroy your motivation. Because I used to have a maybe file with $30 million worth of possible business there. Guys, if I didn't close them, should I be fooling myself that there's $30 million in maybe business there? No, they've already said no. I've already missed my chance. But because I had, you know what? I've got $30 million maybe in there. I would not market as much as I would normally do. I would not hone my skills as much as I would normally do. I would not work as hard as I would normally do, because I always thought, well, push comes to shove, worst case scenario, I can always go back to the maybe filing cabinet. No. Get rid of your maybe file. They either are going to be a client or they're not. If they're not, send them a letter saying I'm shredding everything, and if you come back, we'll have to start the whole process all over again. Use shortcuts and hacks. Do we give you shortcuts and hacks? Yes. How many other systems out there can show you how to get somebody, even if their own son is their advisor, to move all their money in 3 meetings? That is a significant shortcut and hack. Successful people have active listening skills. They pay attention. They withhold judgment. They reflect. They ape, agree, parrot, empower. They clarify, agree, parrot, empower. They summarize, agree, parrot, empower. And they share. And they share by what? Telling people or letting people tell themselves? Key active skills. We give you a hack and a shortcut to be excellent at this with our system. They work hard and they play hard, which means this: when you're working, You should be working. No Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok, no surfing the web. No, 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 you're working. If you like to do those things, then leave early and then do those things. Do your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, social surfing. Do all that stuff, but not at work. So when you're at work, work, and when you're at play, play. When you're at home, don't be doing your business. It's like they say about sleep hygiene. Don't watch TV in bed. Don't do anything in bed except sleep, and you know what? Because you're training your brain to multitask, and multitasking is bad for everybody. So when you're at work, work, don't play. And when you're at home and playing, play, don't work. Follow up, follow up, follow up. And this is again, the king of follow-up I talked about before is Tom, who has unbelievable follow-up. And I've never seen in 30 years of training guys, a guy who got the kind of referrals that Tom gets every single, he makes 400 grand a year on referrals. How much does it cost to market when you get referrals? None. So how many of you would like to have 400 grand a year just based on referrals? How does he do that? Because nobody falls through the cracks. He follows up, follows up, follows up. He sends out newsletters. He sends out emails. He finds out things about people so those things can be personalized to them. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Nobody falls through the cracks. Personalize it. Again, right here, when nobody falls through the cracks, the more you follow up and personalize it, the better you're going to be. Learn from mistakes. It's important to learn from your mistakes, but it's better to learn from other people's mistakes. And the best to learn from other people's successes accelerates your own success. I still think it's better to learn from my own mistakes. How did I learn from my own mistakes every single day? Let's see if we get any answers for this, Allie. How did I learn from my mistakes every single day? Even up to the point when I got rid of, or when I retired here 2 years ago. I haven't been doing this for 2 years, but up to 2 years ago, so from 1997 to 2023, I did this every single day. What did I do?
We have taping and recordings.
Yes, 15-minute drill, and using those tapings and recordings to do that 15-minute drill. I learned from my mistakes, absolutely. The nice thing about you learning from other people's mistakes, remember when I said, did I just magically create the 21-point checklist and the scripts? No. I put together an outline and I tried it. And then I looked at the thing that was the biggest mistake and the easiest fix. Okay, that wasn't working. I listened to the tape. That wasn't working. I'm going to try it this way next time. Oh, that didn't work. Try it again. No, this didn't work. Oh, it worked a little bit better. Still missing. Oh, boom, nailed it. Okay, now I fixed that one. Check mark. Now I'm going to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So then I had something that worked for me. Then when I started to coach guys, it took another 2 years to make it work, just not for Mike, but for everybody. But since 2002, we've had a script system that we've probably changed only 2% in 30 years that still works, or 30 years, 25 years, that still works exactly as well today as it did back in 2002, 2010, 2015, 2020, and 2025. Why? Because it's simply asking questions where people explain to themselves. So you have the advantage of learning from all the mistakes I made, all the mistakes the guys in the first 2 years made, to create something that works for everybody now. Practice soft people skills, listening skills, conflict resolution, positive attitude, problem solving, clear communication, situational awareness, etiquette and manners, taking responsibility, patience, depersonalization, sense of humor. Many of these things are ingrained right into the 25-point checklist or 21-point checklist. Self-control. How do we do self-control? Here's an example of how the 5Q teaches you to do self-control. I am argumentative. I am a debater. I am right, you are wrong. That's what's in my head 100% of the time. How did I prevent myself from doing that? Because every time somebody said something I don't like, what was the first word out of my mouth? Absolutely. That's self-control, self-management. So instead of me putting my foot in my mouth when somebody gave me an objection, when somebody said something I didn't like, the first thing I would say is absolutely. Because it prevented me from arguing or saying yes, but, or you didn't know, or whatever. I said absolutely. And then that reset my brain, like to say, If I'm saying absolutely, now I have to tell them why they're right. So that's an example of self-control, self-management we give you with the 5Q system. Assertiveness, common sense. The whole FIA presentation is common sense. Improvisation, enthusiasm, time management, confidence. Guys, you should have confidence in the system in that it is a 90% plus closing ratio. The only reason we don't get the other 10% is because those are people you wouldn't want to work with anyways, with hundreds of thousands of tapes. Focus, empathy. Knowing when to walk away is wisdom. And again, I just talked about the maybe cabinet. If I don't close the deal, guess what? I say, well, I guess that's a lesson learned. It's an expensive lesson, but I learned it. Got to walk away. That's wisdom, because if you leave them in the maybe cabinet, it's going to erode your motivation. Knowing when being able to walk away is courage. Walking away with grace and your head held high is dignity. Be a team player, especially with your assistants. Guys, your assistant is Missy made more than most financial advisors made. Why? Because she was my team member. Without her, I wouldn't have been successful. And when I paid her that well, guess what I got? I got somebody who made me even more successful. So don't look at your assistant as a cost. Look at your assistant as a team player and an investment. Be honest, be honest, be honest. With a 21-point checklist, with the FI presentation, are we anything but honest? Are we brutally honest? Now, to soften that, we don't make the discoveries. We don't find the problems. We let the client find the problems themselves. But do we ever say, oh, you have a 10% with free withdrawal? Do we ever say, oh, the company pays for your fees? That's not honest. Well, the 10% free withdrawal is, but the company pays for your fees. That's not honest. There's still fees in an FIA. Do we try to hide that, or do we put it right there on the table and walk them through why, yes, there's fees, but the way FIAs charge fees is actually more fair than the way wealth managers charge fees. So our whole system is built on honesty. Be a problem solver. Our whole system is built on solving the problems. What's their number one problem? So we can answer this for Allie. What's the client's number one problem? The taxes? Is it not getting enough income? Is it paying too much in fees? What's their number one problem?
We have the answer of their guy.
Their guy. Yep, their guy. Their guy is taking advantage of them. Paying too much in taxes can be fixed by their current guy. Paying too much in fees can be fixed by their current guy. Not getting enough income can be fixed by their current guy. The one thing their current guy can't fix is if he's demonstrated to be not trustworthy. He cannot fix. Rejection. Don't be upset when people reject you. Nice things are rejected all the time by people who can't afford them. So when I was rejected, did I blame the client? No, I blame myself. Did I get upset with myself? Yeah, for a couple of minutes. And then I said, well, rather than be upset, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to listen to the tape and figure out what went wrong. What mistake did I make that caused them not to want to work with me? And that actually, I went from being upset to being like, that's awesome, because I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I made one mistake, but that will never happen again. So I felt good about that mistake, that rejection. Gaining referrals. Again, we just talked about Tom, who has, on our system, has more referrals than I've ever seen in 30 years in this business, because he follows up, he makes things personal, he's constantly communicating with his clients and prospects. Work-life balance, we just talked about that a little bit further in a different way. When you're working, work. When you're playing, play, and make sure it's a balance to both of those. No, and when you're playing, relax and recharge. Relax and recharge, which means have a good sleep schedule. Get 7 or more hours a day. Avoid, we said last week, a TV that's emotionally charged. Any types of caffeine or alcohol or nicotine. Avoid those things before bed. Make a consistent sleep schedule. And if you can't sleep, get help. Get help. Stand behind your product. Again, it's the FIA presentation. If I could do an FIA presentation at primetime TV, how many people would be calling for that FIA? If you don't believe in what you're selling, neither will your prospect. Self-motivation, find out what motivates you. Here's an example of that. Before I even started 5Q, before I even started this whole system, I was struggling as an advisor and I had to figure out how to get in front of more people. Well, I was using cold calling. And I could never hit those goals of how many calls I wanted to make. How I motivated myself is I said, you know what, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write a check for $100 to a charity I absolutely loathe. And I'm gonna tell Michelle about it so she can ask me on Friday whether I hit my goals. I only had to write that check one time. So what motivated me is not writing a check to an entity that I was filled with disdain about. So that's a way of self-motivation. There's other ways too. Find what motivates you, then use it to reach not your goals. Use it to make yourself follow the system you've set up. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Because once I started those cold calls, I was able to and paid that one check. I was able to just become a machine and make those every single week. Communication agreements, make sure you believe it's a win-win. Is our 5Q process set up for we're gonna get them to move their money. I'm gonna close that sale. No, it's a win-win. We're never in a hurry. We let the client tell us when they want to move the money. Everything we do at 5Q is a mentality of we'll win when the client wins. Build more relationships, networking. I did not do this. I should have, I didn't. But for those of you that are more socially oriented than I am, build a network of attorneys, build a network of health insurance salesmen, build a network of property casualty, build a network of accountants, build a network of movers and shakers in your community. You become more lucky the more people you know. And be prepared. How was I prepared? 15-minute drill every single day. And always be looking for clients. That we started the call with unique selling proposition. Always be looking for clients. That unique selling proposition should be at the tip of your tongue at all times. Increase your retirement income by 25% or, and your risk doesn't go up, it goes down, which is really the opposite of what you think. If you're taking more risk, getting more income, you think you'd be taking more risk. This actually, you get more income and it goes down, and you don't need to move a single cent of your investments. It's all done by using one or more of the 3 techniques proven in the last years. One developed by the University of San Francisco, a simple tax strategy, or analysis of 12 different withdrawal strategies best fits your current portfolio. Guys, how many people are going to say at that point, well, how do you do that? Tell me more. Can you show me how? Everybody would. Make sense? Awesome. Well, thanks for all you that answered my questions today. You guys have a fantastic rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a good one, everybody.